Welcome back, Josh the RV Nerd here with Bish's RV, or as the YouTube auto captions like to say, Vicious RV, which frankly sounds kind of cool, with something a little bit different and new. This is the third member of the new FSX V series, the Versa series here. And what this thing is this weird hybrid amalgamation of a couples camper, a bunkhouse, and a toy hauler all wrapped up into one, where it could work for kind of any of those purposes. Now, it's not made for big giant side-by-sides. They have dedicated floor plans just for that in the FSX series. This is for something where, like, maybe sometimes you have guests. Maybe normal, everyday floor plans that you've seen don't work for you. This could be the one that fits in something else. I think this one reads to me more as a couples camper than most of the others. There's one that's a little bit more of a bunkhouse. There's one that's kind of between. This one to me says this is a couples model where you want a patio, but maybe you've got one or two kids. It could definitely work that. Or maybe occasionally you have a grandkid or something like that with you. This is an RV that can work for all of those purposes without needing to like trade the camper in and get something else later on. So if you're looking to get your second camper the first time or your last one and be done with it, this might be the kind of thing that could work for you. Now we're looking at it today in the Platinum series with the fiberglass skin, and we're looking at it in a Wildwood version. Salem is the same thing. They both come in both fiberglass and tin skin versions. I'll leave you links in the video description as always to check for pricing and availability on all those. But this model right here, it's 7 foot tall inside, which makes the shower headroom really great. They have their VersaTilt bed up front, which is a power headboard lift thing. So if you need that like separation, like sometimes my wife and I, we love each other, but we just each are in the mood to do a different thing during the day. Maybe one of us could hang out in the bedroom, one of us could hang out in the rear bar and entertain friends. I don't know. That's what's cool about this. This one, you write your own rules, basically.
And I always struggle with these crazy mutant campers trying to figure out where to begin. And I say mutant in the most loving of terms. Keep that in mind. Actually, one of my, as a kid growing up, for mutants, I had the X-Men. And also, there were these things like Mutant League Hockey and Mutant League Football on the Sega Genesis. Oh, chef's kiss, 5 stars. Some of my favorite sports games ever. Although I do think my favorite sports game ever was on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it was called Base Wars. Does anybody even know what I'm talking about? Probably the best baseball game ever created. Regardless, what do we have here? Well, we're 7 foot tall inside. You can see how they maximize the slide height and put an accent light above it just to make the whole thing look and feel even bigger. And then something I've noticed that just kind of seems to go hand in hand with that visual effect is the complete lack of floor vents and no carpet in the RV. And those things all kind of combined together always seem to make RVs look and feel a little bit bigger to me. Of course, the lighter general decor package doesn't hurt. They don't offer different color packages on anything, though. What you see is what you get. Hope you like it. There's also a couple handy little details like some LED accent lights below that little elevated breakfast bar. But also the pop-up power tower, you know, she's there when you need it and gone when you don't. But what's great, you just push that button, she slides right down out the way, and then you just kind of finger grab it and pop her right up when you need it. Now, what do you think is the best location? If you could only have one controller for the tankless on-demand water heater, should it go in the kitchen? Should it go in the bathroom? Should it go like by the rest of the control panels up there, over there by the door? Like, what is the best place to put those? I never really know. Now, because this can have some cargo loading function, they do have some D-ring tie-downs, and I kind of like how they bring them, like, way up front here. They're not recessed into that plywood floor, but I've talked to a lot of people who, generally speaking, say, I walk around in the camper all the time with those, in like a various toy hauler kind of thing. I don't have a problem with them. I think if you stepped on it barefoot wrong, the ball of your foot on some of that metal, yeah, I think it could suck. But I think if you're walking around in camping shoes and flip-flops or whatever, you're probably going to be fine. This does, by the way, have the privacy shade built right into the door right there, so you can close that off and privatize it, which is nice. I also really like, for that purpose, how they include curtain for the bunk right there. Because otherwise, everything would kind of look and feel open. But real quick, something I want to do. I'm going to park my backside down over here in the theater seat so that you kind of get a look and a feel for how everything is. Now, you can see those snap-on blackout shades over there. Those are both breeze-through windows. You've got a small window in the door. You got a small window over here in the kitchen, which can be partially covered by the camp kitchen, as I just discovered by looking over here. So it's not the world's greatest campsite window coverage. It's not nothing either. This might be a deal breaker. What I'm about to share right here also, that is not a propane oven. You have a propane cooktop, but that is an air fryer convection microwave wombo combo right there. Very similar to what you might find in like a lot of motorhomes where they have a grill on top, you know, or burners, not a grill rather. I don't know. It just kind of is. It does kind of seem like that is a trend that the RV industry is moving towards right now. Although I've noticed Keystone's remain really good about maintaining ovens. Jayco, generally speaking, has as well. Some of their smaller stuff doesn't have a whole lot of room for it, so, you know, there are a couple little instances like that. Now, even when the bunks are in play, what's kind of nice, they're not really, like, in the way. You can still walk right out here. Pardon the factory background stuff. No, you know, they were kind enough to pull some units in for me. I'm not going to complain about the background. And overall, I've seen dirtier factory spaces, and this looks to just be like currently an unused facility. So, you know, thank you, Forest River, for pulling some of this stuff up in here. But if you've seen the other V-Series FSX members I've shown you, you've kind of seen this arrangement before, but maybe this is new to you. You have outside entertainment over here. You have these handy little removable kind of, I don't know, what would you put in these? Like they can just slide right off if you want to put them somewhere else. We got the Barley Poppinator 9000 series over there, and the little sink back here, kind of brilliant because you have a bathroom right on the other side of this wall, so you have water plumbing fixtures readily available that you can tap into. The little you know, hand wash. Maybe you turn this into like a little drink cutting station, little lime station to rinse off your knife when you're done, you know, something like that. I could see it doing a number of different things and working a bunch of different ways. And speaking of doing a number of things and working a bunch of different ways, that's exactly what we get into here. And using that countertop that you see over there where the bar stools are located, or the bar chairs, whatever you want to call them, I was actually able to set this camera up and go into wide angle lens mode and show you how this whole thing works. So the top bunk folds up very simply, and every time I fold a bunk or a thing up against the wall, there is a lock pin to keep it locked in place, or there's actually two. But what's great is how the ladder's built right on and everything. You can use it for just like an extra bottom sofa. So if you, like, you're like, well, I mean, there's only the theater seat in this. Well, you could have the sofa over here in the Versa space as well. Not to mention there's the tote storage, and obviously that can be like an extension of a little bar area. Or, you know, you've got kind of a bar going in the kitchen. You could have a bar going back here. You could have just like having some friends over and just having a good time, kind of camping situation on this one. They're also very good about putting some household and USB outlets pretty much anywhere you're going to sit or sleep in this, including both USB Type A and C plugs, which is nice. The C is the smaller plug, which is actually like the higher power plug, which seems strange, but that's the way of the world. Anyway, moving our way up front here, sliding up past this thing. Thankfully, we do have centralized air conditioning. Otherwise, the bathroom in that front bedroom would not be a comfortable space. That is a full theater seat, which is not something you've seen from the Salem or Wildwood groups very often. Very sparingly, even in their destination trailers, do you see a lot of those. So that is kind of nice to see over here. And then behind that refrigerator, which has those the doors can open either way kind of refrigerator, so you can open it from this direction, it'll latch, then you can open it from here. This is the updated version, by the way, where if I failed to latch this side, the door's not going to fall off at me, which is great. I also really like that instead of a flip up cabinet right here that would you know, fall down on you automatically, they did swing that open, which just makes more sense. If it's not going to be gas strutted, make it swing a little bit, you know? It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Then back here we have the no man's land storage. It is deep. I'm going to recommend you get something like some kind of wicker baskets or something. These shelves are all adjustable. And if you look all the way down that wall, I don't know how well you can even see it back there. You have those adjustable kind of shelf teeth all the way down. So it is possible you could drop something back there and it could be hard to get. That's one of the big reasons I really do recommend anything you're going to put in there, put in some kind of like basket or tote that you can easily access when you need to. But I implore them. I'm so glad they did this. They didn't just waste the space. That is awesome. I ask manufacturers all the time, please, you know, give us, anytime there's an opportunity for storage. Like, I don't like open face storage, but I'll take open face storage over wasted space. any day of the week. Bedroom TV hookup location sucks, but you could always put a pivot on that. I don't know that a lot of people go camping in a camper like this to watch TV in the bedroom all day, but I mean, theoretically it's possible. This does have, again, their versatile bed system, which makes it very easy to get to all these totes down here. And if you see that little black bracket right there, that is kind of what grabs the bed when it sucks the bottom of the bed in and forces everything up like that. It's a camp queen size bed. So what I'm getting at is if you try to go with a true queen size bed, it might be too long for that little bracket. Now, maybe you could kind of wrestle with it a little bit. I'm not sure. But that's going to be a thing that you're going to want to kind of keep in mind just a bit if you do feel like swapping out that camp queen bed. And if you're shorter than the average bear or just average size, you're probably going to do just fine on that. Now, the cabinets over the bed, there they did what I'm going to call the auto close cabinetry, where it doesn't swing open sideways and it doesn't have a strut of any variety or anything like that. But back here into the kitchen, for a small space, they packed a ton into it. And where I think they did something very, very cool is actually on that elevated dining kind of breakfast bar space. They actually, the storage slides out to you, almost like a 3-tier drawer. And I've never seen manufacturers do that in that area before. And that's where I'm saying, any chance they had for an opportunity to put some storage in this, they did it. And if you look at the specs on this RV, it actually has the guts to be able to handle the cargo you're going to throw into it. Uh-oh. Anybody recognize that sound? Can you tell what I did just now? Leave me a comment. Let me know if you can figure out what my butt just did. Anyway, working our way back here. The space around the toilet's not terrible. It's good on your hips, shoulders, and elbows. The leg room's not amazing. It's adequate. It's not problematic. It's not like so small that it's an issue by any regards. The ceiling, though, being super tall, being 7 foot tall, means my headroom in here just an absolute non-issue. That's one of the things I really like about this one. They are using the smaller kind of 4-inch conventional fan. They do have the peekaboo, I smell you door. Some people really don't care for those things. But whether it's awesome or not, I want to tell you about everything I can so that you know if it is or is not the right RV for you. Similarly, just from experience, knowing what I know about the industry in various ways and floor plans and slides, we're about to lose the bed for road mode. So bedroom travel access is a must-have for you. This ain't your huckleberry. That refrigerator door can open a little bit further. It's not ideal, but I think if I had to like reach in and grab, a package of turkey to make a sandwich or something, I could probably do that. You just have to make sure you don't put it in the crisper drawer in the bottom. That ain't going to work out too well. The sink will be accessible, in case you're curious. You can walk when the slide's closed right between the little peninsula and the sofa right here. And if I back up and spin you around like a record baby, you are right across from the bathroom, from the primary entry. Well, I say primary entry door, like there's another entry door. There's no other entry door. I don't know why I phrased it that way. My brain just adds words where they don't need to be spoken. And also, just one last thought on the way out. Like, I pivoted this TV thing around and showed you the storage, but it actually can pivot both ways because it is just, basically, it's a double-jointed swing arm mount. I don't know how important that is to you. These are also adjustable, removable shelves. I don't know how important that is to you, but it's a thing I know, so I thought I'd share it real quick.
Now, historically, most of the FSX family were these small little single axles, but a couple years ago, they started branching into some tandem axle, I call them crossovers, where they're only 6.5 foot tall, but kind of toy haulery sort of things. Then they came out with the Max series, that's like 7 foot tall. And this is almost like the next evolution beyond that, where it's, they're starting to incorporate some non-toy hauler feels, features, functions into their concepts here, but still maintaining that tandem axle, 7 foot ceiling, kind of body size and platform that they've come up with here. And they are they're coming up with some interesting and creative things here. Whether it's genius or insanity really kind of remains to be seen yet. The slides are slide awning prepped, although, slides have been able to accept slide awnings for a long, long time, even before these little prep brackets started showing up. The baggage doors are all magnet holdbacks here, and I really like the full unobstructed front pass-through that you have going on. And you might even notice your Versa tilt hardware in the upper left. It's up against the ceiling. It's out of the way. I don't think cargo's going to get to it. or up on the right, over here on the door side of the RV, as opposed to the poop side of the camper. Now you've got a simple little portable solar prep plug right down there by that baggage door, but if you look back up above the entry door, you see that it does have a solar panel up there as well. These are going to come with 200 watts of factory solar and a 30 amp controller. Now that's not the be all end all of solar packages, but it ain't nothing. And you know, it's a very solid battery tender. Actually, walking around the lot, I juggle a couple different battery boxes all day, and if I'm going to be out on the lot for an extended period of time, I will find a camper that has a solar package like this to charge one of my battery boxes while I'm over using another, and I can go pretty much all day juggling A to B like that. Little outside griddle kind of situation going on here right below Dad's medicine cabinet, but to be fair, because I like to be fair when I can, when you're cooking, you reach up into that fridge, you better make sure you're tall like me or have a good clear angle on that sucker, otherwise you're going to be singeing your arm hairs, because they are right next to one another. But a lot of people don't care about the griddle. A lot of people don't care about the fridge. You could always just kind of pull them out and remove them. I do like the lighting under the awning right there, and look where the entry door is located in relation to that awning. Basically, in the middle of the awning, offset left a little, obviously, but you get the idea. What that's going to do for us is, like, if you're coming and going on a rainy day, you're not going to constantly get rain in the face, which is awful nice. I will tell you, if you are going to use this, like, you know, to have a couple kids around, or frankly, it's just good advisory in general, the furnace exhaust over here on the campsite, not the biggest concern for me, because I think if it's cold enough you're running the furnace, you're probably not sitting outside a whole lot anyway. But the water heater exhaust over here, that one is a little bit more of a concern, because whether it's hot or cold outside, you'll probably be running that. So that has a hot air exhaust point right over here on the patio area of your RV. You're going to want to kind of keep that in mind a little bit. Now, these are using the better LCI quick drop stabilizers that really provide a lot of stability to the RV. You can see the little sewer hose caddy tube peeking down below the bottom there. And my knees are not feeling great right now. I am getting, you know, I'm carrying a little extra weight, and I am getting older, and they're popping and locking like a hip-hop dancer today. But if I did happen to get down there and look around, you would find an enclosed underbelly. But it also has holding tank heaters, and they do put a radiant barrier through the belly, which just provides a little bit more efficiency. That'll also help not just with heating, but with cooling vectors. One other thing I want to kind of show you, actually two, I just spotted something else. First one was up top here. We are prepped and ready for a telescopic removable ladder. That's the bracket you see at the back of the RV. But I did just notice this one is a two-headed sewer monster. You look to have a maybe a gray tank back here. That's probably black and gray for the looking at the bathroom location. Whereas up front, my guess is just for the kitchen, you do have a gray outlet up there. Now, what I'm wondering is, from this angle, it looks like it's buried under the slide. Let me pivot my way around here. It's under the slide a little. I wish that valve, you know, the handle was pointing the other direction, but that actually could be turned and rotated so that you wouldn't have to get under the slide to pull that. But that's one of those little things that maybe next year they can do a little tweak on that. Hopefully. I don't know. So thanks again for tuning in. Now, in case this is the first one of these you've seen, you're like, these are kind of crazy, but wait a minute, did you say they had a couple other ones? Yes, I have full video footage of all three of them at this point. Assuming this all goes according to plan, I might screw myself up. It's not over yet, folks. This will be the third of the three to come out. So the one that we just kind of saw in the background, it's a little more of a bunkhouse. It'll be, it'll already be up there. And the one here that's kind of an interesting sort of tweener, well, we'll have footage on that one too. And again, tin skin, fiberglass skin, whatever the case, I'll have a link in the video description to check for pricing and availability. But there are times that despite our size and all of our different dealerships in our network, we do run out of stock occasionally. So if that link comes up empty, just call our team. We're happy to get you figures on and stuff, but it changes over time. So one price burned into this video isn't going to do you any good 6 months from now. It's not going to give you the right idea of what something might actually run. And I don't like estimated pricing because that starts to feel kind of bait and switchy. Like, yeah, of course you would say it runs a little more right now. You would say that, you know. Anyway, when you're ready, we're ready. And until then, we don't do hidden dealer fees. We just do everything else. So take care, stay safe, have fun. And happy camping, everyone.